kind of loud on this
Good
side.
morning.
Yeah, you want to close that.
Yeah.
Is,
Or you could not do it.
okay, I'm kind of sitting here going, it's like, okay, I will call to the November 7th County Board of Commission meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Monty Shadwick,
Here.
Commissioner Robert Vidrickson, Commissioner Roger Sparks,
Here.
Commissioner James Weiss,
Here.
Commissioner Joe Hay.
Here.
And Monty, do you want to go ahead and take this over?
No, it's all yours.
Okay. Well, and that's the reason why I'm kind of caught, because Monty was going to take care of this. So, but I'll take care of this. Would y'all please to stand for a flag salute and a moment of silence? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we'll let anyone from we have a public forum, so if anyone from the audience would like to speak to any items that is not on the agenda today, could speak for less than 3 minutes. And please state your name and address.
Norman Mandel, Salina. On the way in this morning, are we having contractors doing work on county roads? We have backhoes.
Yes. Yes. To both questions. Anyone else? Not? We will go ahead and move to the consent agenda. These items may be approved by a single motion unless any item is pulled by a commissioner. Does any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? Like to pull anything? Okay, at this time, the consent agenda does have the approval of tax roll adjustments, approval of accounts payable, approval of public forum agenda, approval of payroll, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office MOU, addendum Farm Bureau Association tire event, approval of county commission minutes for October 24th, 2023. And so can I have a consent agenda?
Mr.
Motion.
Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. We'll go to the next item is the action items.
2023 Home Care and Hospice Month Proclamation.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Whereas Saline County recognizes the importance of providing high-quality, compassionate care to those who need special medical attention, the elderly, terminally ill, post-surgical patients, chronically ill, and individuals with disabilities, and the availability of that care in a familiar and comfortable setting. And whereas home care and hospice encompasses a wide array of health and supportive services and offers compassionate care to more than 5 million Americans annually, especially during times of community or personal health care crisis. And whereas home care is the patient-preferred care option and plays a vital role in Saline County's healthcare delivery systems, as residents in need of services wish to live independently in their own homes for as long as possible. And whereas home care services allow families to stay together, provide greater health dignity and comfort in our communities. And today, caregivers play a central role in our healthcare system and in homes across the country. And whereas the home care and hospice community honors the compassionate nurses, aides, therapists, and social workers who work tirelessly to make the essential difference for those wishing to receive care in their homes, as well as families, by ensuring that they can do so. And whereas home care providers encourage all individuals to learn more about options of care and to share their wishes with family, loved ones, and their healthcare providers. And whereas Saline County joins in the National Observance of Home Care and Hospice Month, and we take this opportunity to encourage, honor, and support the professionals, volunteers, and family caregivers who show courage and compassion in their vitally important work, helping and caring for the vulnerable populations. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the County Commissioners of Saline County, do hereby proclaim November 2023 as Home Care and Hospice Month in Saline County and encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of home-based care.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public that would like to say anything else? Okay, thank you. Can I hear a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
I'm sorry.
a quick question. Do you
Okay.
have any activities planned to celebrate this proclamation?
We are doing a whole bunch of social media awareness, trying to get resources and as much information to the public about home health and hospice as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I move we proclaim November 2023 as Home Health and Hospice Month.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I have a proclamation here signed for you. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Item number 2.
Squad purchase for Rural Fire District 5, 2023-205.
Good morning, Mr. Turner.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today to ask you for permission to proceed with the purchase of a demo unit from Hayes Fire Equipment. We wouldn't take delivery of the unit till after January since it's a demo. The demo would replace a 1999 Ford F-450, which is doesn't meet current NFPA standards, plus it's inundated with equipment. The demo unit is a 2023 International CV chassis with a 500-gallon water tank plus a 500-gallon pump. The thing about going with the demo, it'll save us additional costs if we were to spec a new unit. Plus, there's a lot of issues with getting chassis now, so I think the most available option is to buy a demo. Staff recommends moving forward with the purchasing of the apparatus from Hayes Fire Equipment with a lease-to-purchase option from Community Leasing. To fund the overall project, we'd be financing $181,654. That's minus the $20,000 for the down payment. Budget impact, as recommended by staff, 10% down for the lease purchase option with an annual payment of $24,545.50 a year for the next 10 years. That's all I have.
Okay. Quick question here is that chassis that demo model, is it a diesel, is it a four-wheel drive type?
Diesel full drive, yes.
Okay. And can you put a larger tank on there than a 500-gallon? I mean, I'm just,
With GVW, you probably can't.
okay,
So if we exceed GVW, of course, that throws that out in NFPA standard.
gotcha. Okay, I was just, okay, any other?
Chief, do you have any other leases or pay-as-you-go going on right now? And
Yes,
if you
we
do, when do
have, currently we have 3 other lease purchases. We have one coming off next year. In '24, one of our engines will be paid for, so that will reduce that. It's $18,906 a year. So that money would just transfer over to the new, this new unit for the annual down payment.
David, is the 99 Ford 450, is that going to go on Purple Wave? Is that how you're going to get rid of it?
Generally, I put it on Purple Wave, yes.
Okay.
Generally, I let it open up for the rest of the county first, and nobody wants it,
Okay.
then it'll go to Purple Wave.
So it's still in halfway decent shape. It's just,
Yes, sir.
okay. Thank you.
So when, but really another rural fire district couldn't buy it. I mean.
Could buy it, yes.
Oh, but I thought, the way you say that, I thought it's kind of illegal now that you have to update it because it doesn't qualify for certain identifications.
Right. The current NFPA standard, when it was built in '99,
Uh-huh.
doesn't meet the NFPA standard of today. But I do know that being surplus equipment, a lot of other departments will buy it and man it, refit it with the equipment to bring it up to standard.
Okay. Any public would like to speak on this? Any other questions? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion we make a motion that we approve 2023-205.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Thank you,
Thank you, Dave.
Commissioners.
Item 3.
Mountain Peak Energy Storage Plus Power request for continuance of appeal 2023-209.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, gentlemen. Mountain Peak Energy Storage, doing business as Plus Power, is requesting a continuance of their appeal to the Planning Commission decision on September 26th to deny their request for establishment of a battery energy storage facility in the county. This request is to reschedule the County Commission consideration of this appeal from November 14th to a date in February of 2024. And at this point, I will turn it over to the County Administrator for some additional information.
Thank you, Tim. Commissioners, I just wanted to provide some context for this request. After Tim prepared his item, well, first off, I will say November 14th is when we had scheduled this, next Tuesday. That's not a magical date. That was simply the first time that we thought that we would have all 5 commissioners in attendance. After Tim prepared his item for today with the request from them, they've actually sent a letter. Their attorney has sent a letter, and I'd be happy to read that into the record if you would like. But the 2 points that are contained in the letter essentially are that their attorney is not available next Tuesday, and secondly, that although they're appealing a decision from September, it was really October 24th when the Planning Commission went back and made their findings, and so they need a little bit of additional time to react to that. So as you consider this item this morning, I would ask that the commission think like a judge rather than think like county commissioners. And I would say that in 2 ways. One, what this item that you will be hearing is an appeal. And so it's going to come to you with a record prepared by staff, and then the appellant will have an opportunity to present their case. They're going to need some time to adequately, prepare that. They have retained an attorney, as I said. The second way that I would ask you to think like a judge is if the commission sort of rushed this and then it were to go to court, would a court find that the appellant had not had adequate time to prepare for the hearing? So I think I just wanted to drop that into your consideration this morning. County Councilor Mike Montoya does recommend that we grant the continuance. Again, there was no magic to why November 14th was selected to begin with. So I do know that there's also a representative from their law firm in attendance today if you have other questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions to myself or Tim.
Do we have a date in mind, or do we need to set that date today? Or can we just say it's going to be a continuance and think about that later?
I would say all of those are options, Commissioner Shadwick. I don't, the commission's calendar for next year has not been set yet. It's typically adopted by resolution in December. But I have no reason to think that there wouldn't be a meeting each Tuesday in February. You could decide later, but there's enough public interest in this matter that it might be a good idea to establish a date, just so that everybody knew what to sort of plan for.
I just have a quick question here. Since November 14th was set as the date, and now the attorneys are saying that we can't make it on the 14th, can we just look at the next Tuesday then, or the following Tuesday after that, or set that date that we was going to take this up instead of the 14th? Can it be the next week?
Yes, that is an option. I know that we do have one commissioner who's going to be out on the 21st. As far as I know, I think we have a full board on the 28th. We will not be meeting the first Tuesday in in December, because that is the KAC meeting. Several of you will be there. We will meet twice in December, the 12th and the 19th. So yes, I mean, it's certainly, I think it's a reasonable compromise to say, yes, we're willing to push it out, but February is too long.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask that, yes. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay. If you want me to think like a judge, and if I was a judge, this is exactly the way that I would look at it, is we've had 4 meetings on this item. We had one with the county commission at one time to present it the first time. We've had 3 meetings with the planning commission, 2 full meetings of 3 hours apiece. The planning commission made it perfectly clear that they denied. I just have a hard time of continuing at this. I don't know why we just don't go ahead, quit kicking this dead horse and get it over with, go to the 14th like we had planned, and get it over with and get it off our agenda. I mean, we got public out there, the planning commission meetings, we had, 40, 50, 60 people at each of those. And I can't tell you one person who stood up and said, hey, I'm for this 100%. I think this is a great idea. But yet we had all of the other citizens of Saline County stand back there and say, no, we don't want this. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to see it left on the 14th and get it over with.
Well, as a quick response to that is, like, I look at it as that if right now, if we've set the date for the 14th and the attorney says that I can't make it on the 14th, then let's look at the nearest date that everybody can be there. So that'd be my answer to that.
I mean, if
Yeah.
push comes to shove and if we can do that, then, like I said, I just think we just need to put this to bed and get it done with and
Yeah.
continue with our county business.
Yes. You have any comments?
Well, I hear the words of my fellow commissioners, and I too, I didn't attend the planning board meetings. I didn't feel like, as a commissioner, since we would be the ultimate people they would come to for appeal, that my place was not there with the planning commission. they were put in place to do their job, and I appreciate the job they did, but I was confused over some of their meetings myself. It didn't seem as cut and dry as what you're explaining to me. I don't see a problem of continuing this to give fair and above board everyone their chance to do a correct appeal. We to hear it, we make our decision over what the public and what we decide we want. So to move it back, to give them the chance to do it correctly, so it doesn't come back to haunt us in a court of law, I feel that we should extend their time and let it run its course that way. That's just my feelings.
I understand Commissioner Hayes' point, and I know that the group has a high bar to pass, having a, have to have at least 4 votes to overturn. And is that possible? I don't know. And we can't talk as commissioners, about a potential vote coming up. So I don't know whether that's going to be hard or not. My anticipation is that's going to be hard. But at the same time, I think that for due process, they need to be able to properly appeal this. And, if we can, yes, I would like to put it to bed also, but at the same time, if we could not have any litigation down the road, that would be helpful too. So my thought would be to kind of pick a date sometime in December and follow kind of what the county counselor had said and let's set this.
Okay. Any comments from the public? And please state your name and address.
William R. DeSilvey, 4945 South Simpson Road in Gypsum. Mr. Hay is correct. We've had the needed meetings to address this issue. And it is really time for, I believe, the commission to get on board with what the citizens want. And Pure Power needs to learn how to read a room. Seriously. What is more, I loved some of the presentations they gave. A lot of them were very professional, I have to admit. We had one gentleman who talked about the siting of it, and he did a great presentation. He really did. Until he got to the point of, no, we are not going to comply with federal recommendations and guidelines on this. We don't care that you have seismic activity in this area. We're not going to build the berm as per the recommendations. Then we had a lovely lady, I believe she's some kind of doctor of chemistry, speaking in environmental chemistry. And she laid it out very nicely and professionally. What happens when these batteries burn. Did a great job until we start hearing chemical nomenclature such as hydrogen chloride gas. Little abbreviations like HF. Well, HF is hydrogen fluoride. It's the one acid my chemistry professor did not keep in stock. Now, all that may not mean anything to a lot of people. It means a lot to me. When hydrogen chloride gas contacts a molecule of water, be it in the air in your lungs, it becomes hydrochloric acid. When hydrogen fluoride connects water, it becomes hydrofluoric acid. I don't have any intention on hell in breathing that in. It's a matter of not if, but when. We had a gentleman from the Planning Commission said he's researched a site that demonstrates these batteries on fire. The technology is not perfected yet. It probably won't be for quite some time. And, we have said no. We understand your position, we do. But we have said no. We, the citizens that have to live with this, have said no. We can get all these nice little platitudes about, oh, we're just going to give SES a $500,000 a year. I'm calling bullshit on that. We have states that have state lotteries set up. Oh, it's going to be for education. It's for the kids. And everybody dutifully gets to the polls and they vote the lottery in. And there's not a single damn state in this country that has solvent education departments that also have a lottery. This is the same thing, only on a smaller scale. You know, the big thing since 2016 has been make sure you have consent. Me too. Well, that extends to everybody. We have told you no. We will not give our consent, and we won't be screwed by anybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wade Waddle, 4028 East McReynolds. I'm one of the affected properties. My response to what I've heard today is not a single person has checked to see if I'm available or when I'm available as an affected person. We're catering to a company who's had multiple opportunities and paraded a number of people in this room to make their case. I don't know that I would have been given an extension on my appeal had I had to make it, which fortunately I did not. But nobody's taking into account anybody's schedule except the applicant at this point, and that's kind of insulting to me. Since this whole thing has started, I've got a one-page mailer from the company and 2 notifications of planning and zoning meetings for this topic. That's all the communication that I've got from the county. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Good morning. Trish Voth. I'm here as a representative of Plus Power, and to be respectful to your time, this morning it is just to ask for a different date. And as has been identified, it's an important topic. There's a lot to it, and it is most valuable to the commission to have plenty of time and not be rushed. Your zoning regulations include that you are to receive the entire record to review. I've not had a chance to catch up yet if you've received the entire record to review. I am aware that that record would include over 300 pages of material for your review in this role. So we would appreciate the opportunity for the applicant and also the commission to be fully briefed and prepared. As to the date, it would be best if we could identify a date just to be responsive to what you just heard. That way, there's plenty of notice to the public of a date, and it would be great if we can increase in any helpful way that we can ongoing public communication. So happy to help support that. One of the thoughts behind pushing back through the Thanksgiving week and then into December with several holidays and year end, honestly, was to look past that as plenty of appropriate time to be prepared. If you think February is too far out and a date in January would be better, that would be fine. Any questions I could answer?
Not at this time.
Thank you.
How many law firm do you have?
Any questions?
I will ask that. How, you're representative of a law firm, how, does your law firm have they done this type of litigation before?
We have been involved in matters related to land use matters. We were not involved during those initial planning meetings, so part of what we're doing is catching up and continuing to assist Plus Power.
Has your law firm ever represented a battery backup type situation before in all of this?
I have not checked on that internally.
Okay.
I personally have not, but I have not checked internally for all of our clients that we've had over the years.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. I was expecting to see all 5 of you, but I see 4 of you, or 3 and 1. I do appreciate the opportunity to speak a little bit this morning, and I wasn't quite sure how this was all going to go down, so I don't have my prepared speech like I normally do, and I didn't practice it in front of the mirror either, so we're just going to wing it a little bit.
Well, could you please state your name and address?
Oh, I thought I did. Gary Olson, 7300 South Whitmore Road,
Okay, thank
Gypsum, Kansas. And I didn't attend the very, very first meetings, obviously, but I did attend the community meetings. And like the gentleman said, I think we've all had a very, very steep learning curve about these batteries and what they're going to do and what the potential impact would be financially to our community. And Mitch and some other people have been very, very forthright with the information. And I think where I started having lots of questions was when we had discussion one day that this was going to have a $2 million community impact for us as a Saline County. And then the next time we talked about it was going to be $1 million impact, with them asking the Saline County folks for some tax abatements. And then I started wondering, well, maybe they're just going to ask for tax abatements for the whole thing, and Southeast of Saline won't get anything. And then I think the other part that really started frustrating me is when one of the individuals asked for all kinds of information, and Power Plus and their representatives just blew it off and never did answer the questions. And so, you know, it makes me wonder how serious they are about really wanting to be here, and how serious they are trying to do this somewhere else. You know, one of the questions I would ask is, are they just running around the countryside, finding substations and trying to buy little pieces of land and do this all over the place? And wherever it works, and wherever it doesn't, it doesn't. That's kind of what I feel like might be going on, but I don't have enough information to figure that out. One day I saw a document that somebody sent me that this company was directly related to the wind generated things over there by Marion County, and then the next day it was magically changed, and I can't find it now. And so that made me believe that this was going to lead to either wind powered or solar panels in our community, and I'm not sure we quite have the infrastructure for all that and our codes and regulations yet. And so I'm with Mr. Joe Hay in the fact that I think that Power Plus has known for a very long time that this was going to be an uphill battle. And I watched, and when we started talking about judges and courts, and God knows I've been in that system a little bit, and it's really antagonizing to everybody involved to drag something out, and when the solution and the answer is probably very obvious. We, to my knowledge, don't have any elections for commissioners going on right now, so the same 5 of you will be making a decision today, tomorrow, February, next year, and it's absolutely ludicrous to even think about not setting a date. I mean, why would we continue something without setting a firm date? And you all set a firm date because you all 5 wanted to be here to vote, and I think that was very fair to Power Plus that all 5 of you commissioners were going to be here on the date you set. And so, and I don't know anything about, I mean, all these comments have been able to be reviewed on public access, videos, on YouTube or whatever it is. And so I don't understand why their law firms have lots of attorneys. They have their representative here today. And, you know, attorneys have conflicts every day of their life. And I think that's kind of an excuse that they could say that in February and then we'll have it out in March. Then we'll have it out in July. And so how many times do you want the public to come here to watch to see if anything happens or not? And they were able to show up in force, not just one, but they had like 7 representatives here last time. And when I asked about whether and who they talked to on the fire boards and chiefs and all that, I think they had one meeting, and I was led to believe that they already had this policy in place, and they had one meeting. And so I don't think things were very well thought out, and I think someday we will have this in our community, but I don't think we're going to have it with Power Plus. And I think the commissioners are ready to make their decision, and I think we need to leave the date where it's at and move on, and mainly because even though the presentations, for the most part, were very, very solid and very, very good, and I did talk to them some before and after the meetings, and they were very professional, and even though they knew that I was very against this, they were willing to talk to me, and I give them credit for that. But I think it's definitely time to move on, and if they want to sue the county over this, I guess they have the right to sue the county. I don't know all the rules and regulations over the time frames,
Okay.
but as long as you all are following the time frames of how long they have to appeal, I'd say leave the date and let's move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy Waddle, 4665 East Menor Road. As our representatives, the date needs to stay the same. We need to take care of this. I say no, we don't want it. I'm not alone. Leave the date the same. Thank you.
Norman Mandel Salina, this is personal to me. 35 years ago, this same issue come up. I brought my son to the hospital here in Salina because he got sick. And he was there for 4 or 5 days. And he got well. We took him home. He got sick again. We brought him back to the hospital again. And when his pediatrician come in there, I said, you better find out what's making my son sick. He didn't say a word. He done a 180. He went and done tests for 1 hour. He come back an hour and he says, you got bad water. That was my son. And talk to these ladies that's got babies. That's your baby. It's about contamination. I about lost my son. When you're putting profits and greed ahead of people's lives, you've got a problem. We don't want you here.
Okay. Thank you.
I about lost my son.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay.
Mike Jensen, 5694 East K4 Highway, Gypsum. Power Plus agreed to the date next week. It's not the citizens of Saline County's fault or the county commission's fault that Power Plus chose to hire an attorney firm that's not able to be here. If they wanted to have an attorney here, they should have hired one that was able to be here. That's a stall tactic on their part. They need to know that, no, we're not playing with this thing. We're going to do it on next week, and we're going to say, no, this thing does not need to be in Saline County. We don't need to be poisoned. We don't need to be gassed. One of the county planning and zoning guys had done some research, and he saw fire coming out of these things. And at the meetings, they said, oh, no, they're self-contained. They burn themselves out inside. Baloney. They've lied, lied, lied. And I've got a whole bunch of other stuff. They never answered questions from Brenda Marks that were very scientific questions. They promised at the first meeting they would answer them. They never answered one of them. She come back at the second meeting and asked them about it, and they just poo-pawed her off. So no, we need to turn this thing down, and we need to do it next week for the citizens of Saline County and for the Saline County Commission. Let them sit in Houston where they want it, and let them have it there.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Dwayne Tinkler, 1701 East McReynolds Road, this area. We've had all these previous meetings where they were to give us all the technical advice. I don't see what technical advice their law firm is going to come up with in 1 month or 2 months or 1 week, and I'm against it.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments by the commissioners? And Mr. Administrator, I just want to ask you a question here, is that this action today is if it does not pass, then this meeting still goes on next week? Is that correct? If we do not give them a continuance?
Yes. I mean, it's the commission's agenda, so,
okay.
You know, I would say this has been the plan, so if you don't wish to change the plan, then...
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anywhere, at this time, any other questions or statements?
No, I think to give clarification to the citizens who have came and for the commission themselves, I'm going to bring a motion. We can decide it and then go with that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve a continuance as requested by Power Plus.
Okay. There has been a motion to approve the continuance as requested.
Quick question, clarification. Commissioner Weiss, are you saying a continuance to next week, or are you saying a continuance to some further date?
I didn't set a date, Monty. I guess I can amend my motion to a later date to be, I mean, do I pick a date and go with that? I don't have a calendar in front of me as far as what December would look like. I think that's a...
Well, the way, and I just want to ask this because the way the action reads here is that if we refuse this, it's moved to February of 2024. Is that correct? Since that is in the action?
That is the request.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a request. That wasn't what my motion was.
Right. That's what I just want to ask that question because that's...
You can pick whatever date that you wish, Commissioner Weiss.
Well,
the December options would be the 12th or the 19th. The 5th is KAC, and the 26th is a holiday.
okay, I'll amend the motion to December 19th.
We have a motion to approve the continuance as requested to December 19th. Is there a second? Not hearing a second. Motion dies. Motion failed, so we would keep the action as it is. November 14th, the date? Is that right?
Unless anybody intends to make a different motion.
Does everybody have a different motion or anything? I'm sorry.
I do not have a different motion.
Okay. Motion failed. We'll move on to action item 4.
Bid award for concrete pavement at the Road and Bridge Department, 2023-210.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commission. So I'm here to present the bids for the concrete pavement at the Road and Bridge Yard. So this pavement would...
And your name, sir?
Oh, Wayne Scritchfield,
okay.
Assistant County Engineer. So this project would replace the patchwork of aggregate and asphalt and a little bit of concrete pavement on the north side of the county maintenance building. approximately 50 feet out from the building, starting at the northwest corner of the building, extending that new concrete to where it would connect with the newer concrete that was placed with the Road and Bridge office building around 2020, 2021. It would be, we opened bids on October 31st, and we received 9 bids. It was very competitive. The bid tabulation is attached. Most of our local concrete companies bid on this project. We're very pleased. It would place 1,172.1 square yards of 8-inch concrete pavement and 8-inch aggregate base. The county would supply the aggregate. The contractor would be responsible for placing that aggregate and compacting it, and then placing 8 inches of concrete over that aggregate. The existing surface allows aggregate and mud to be tracked into the shop when the guys are working on equipment, and this would provide a better surface to park equipment, do maintenance, and then get that equipment into the shop. So we would also tie into a storm sewer inlet that is at the east end of this project to help with the drainage. So the alternates for action would be to accept the bid unit prices from Bar S Construction. They did provide some references since we haven't worked with them before. We called those references. They all gave really good recommendations. So we're pleased to go forward with them as the low bidder. Action item 2, our alternative would be to accept the bid from a different contractor or to reject the bids and direct staff to the wishes of the board. Our recommendation would be to accept the unit bid prices from Bar S Construction for an estimated cost of $133,085.37. The budget impact, the funds for this project will be taken out of the Road and Bridge CIP. There was $184,995 earmarked for this project. Questions?
Any questions? Any comments from the public? Thank you, Wayne. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to bid the award concrete pavement at the Road and Bridge Department of 2023-210 to the Bar S Construction Company.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. We'll move on to informational items. 1.
County Administrator Update 11/07/23.
Good morning again, Commissioners. So there's one item that I needed to bring to you today, which is a delegate and an alternate for the K-Work annual meeting. Saline County is a member of the Kansas Workers Cooperative, which is provides our work comp insurance. They have their annual meeting each year at the KAC conference, but they are a separate organization from KAC. Of course, you've already previously selected delegates for voting at KAC, but they're requesting the same thing, a delegate and an alternate, as well as we are a member of the North Central region, and they are accepting nominations for folks from the North Central region. It could be any elected official of a county. The current incumbent, who is Cloud County Commissioner Gary Caspers, is intending to run again, so you could nominate Mr. Caspers, you could nominate someone else, or you could just not nominate anyone at all. But I would be interested in a delegate and an alternate that we could put down on the form for the work comp meeting at KAC.
Okay. Would you prefer to have that now, or you want us to think about that and get it to you?
Well, I need to have it no later than next week, but I have a feeling next week's meeting's going to be busy. So if you wanted to make a decision today, that would be great. I believe at least 2 of you here are attending.
I'm not attending.
I'm going to the
And I'm going.
conference.
Okay. Well, rock, paper, scissors.
You want a nomination there? I nominate Roger Sparks and Joe Hay to be delegate and alternate to K-Works.
Okay.
Fine.
I think we can just do that by consensus.
Yeah.
So, perfect.
Oh, your consensus? Yeah, that's what. I see how this works.
Thank you.
All right. Is that all, Phil? Okay. Item number 2.
Commissioner comments.
I don't have any at this time.
I want to apologize to Commissioner Sparks for having to run the meeting. I think that would have been a tough one for me from Zoom. So, sorry to put you in that position. And
no problem.
And next week, I mean, if I'm healthy enough to travel home, I definitely will make it. But if not, I just got to let everybody know this is going to happen again next week. So,
Okay. All right. Any announcements?
Yes, just wanted to remind commissioners and the public that this Saturday is Veterans Day, but since most county offices are not customarily open on Saturdays, we will be closed to the public on Friday. So don't try and come buy your car tags on Friday because we won't be here. So.
I just got one thing on announcements. The county is participating in the green light program. As you've noticed, the front of the city-county building got the green lights up. I've got 2 or 3 green lights, extra green lights if anybody needs one, but please, for our veterans, display those green lights and show your support. Thank you.
Okay. And our agenda items for next week?
One is Plus Power Planning and Zoning Appeal, pending the BOCC decision on request for continuance 11/7/2023.
Okay, and we had that, so that looks like that will continue next week. Item number 2?
2 is the CIP update.
Number 3?
3 will be the Road and Bridge update.
Number
4 will be the Livestock and Expo update. You guys have an executive session for non-elected personnel. And then 6 is the Digital Equity Grant Award.
Okay. Any comments or discussion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank you.